All right, here we go to the second game of the day. Got most of the things I need to get this one going. The starting pitcher for the Greyhounds will be Crittenden. Isaac Crittenden. He's from Gentry, Arkansas. And the first pitch from him is a strike. Basler. Get things all set here. And there's strike on the outside. I'm thinking these two umpires are brothers or twins. Their mannerisms are the same. Their strike zones are starting out to be the same, but quickly 0-2 the count. And there's a ball trying to get all my bookwork done here, so bear with me, everyone. Peyton Basler, Mervosh, and Goldbeck scheduled up for the Blue Devils. And that misses for ball 2, so 2-2 the count. Basler was 3 for 4 in the first game with 3 base hits, one of them an RBI. And that's low and inside. So from 0-2 to 3-2, we are. See if I can get things set up to get you some information, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this one. The Blue Devils took the first one 8-7. There's a high fly ball to right field. And Polabinsky takes that one for the first out of this second game. That's going to bring up Jackson Mervosh. Mervosh was 3 for 4 in the first game with a couple of singles, a double. To his credit, grounded out once, but 3 for 4. And that's inside to Jackson Mervosh. Isaac Crittenden on the mound for. There's a curveball, breaking ball back down into the strike zone. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out to Jackson Mervosh. Crittenden, a 6'4" righty from Gentry, Arkansas, on the mound. 2-1 the count. There's a ball headed into right field. On the run is the right fielder, Polabinsky. And he takes care of that one on a sliding running catch. And that's going to bring up Goldbeck. Goldbeck was 1 for 2 in the first game with a double. A sac fly and a base on balls. Ball 1 to him, 1-0 the count. Welcome back to the second game. Thanks for joining me. Blue Devils won the first one 8-7 in 7. There's a ball headed down the right field line, but that's going to be foul. Hit it hard, but just a little bit too much out in front of it. So 1-1 the count on the shortstop of the Blue Devils, Gary Goldbeck. That's high and inside, 2-1 the count. Comes the 2-1, and that is off the ground and got the umpire. So 3-1 the count now. Field umpire comes down a few steps to be sure he's okay. Galuski checked on him, the catcher for the Greyhounds. Swing and strike 2. So 3-2 the count on Gary Goldbeck. Another foul ball pulled over toward the dugout. Early swinging fouled that away, earned another hit. Earned another pitch. Strike 3 called. Breaking ball catches the outside corner. At the end of a half an inning, no score. I'll be back. All right, to the bottom half of the first we go. Blue Devils go 3 up, 3 down. Mason Davenport from Tonganoxie, Kansas, will be on the mound for the Blue Devils. Davenport has a 3.61 ERA and a 4-1 record on the season. He will toe the slab and be on the hill for the Blue Devils. Mike Polubinski will lead things off. He's got brother that's batting 6th, Josh, as the designated hitter. Mike will step in to face Davenport here in the top of the first. Mike started the day batting .331 as brother started the day batting .330. Josh was the designated hitter in the last game. Mike playing in right field this game. There's a heater past him right there. Breaking ball. Pretty close to the strike zone from the previous umpire, but he's down at first, so that one ruled outside. 1-2 the count. There's the fastball missed for the strikeout. So that's going to bring up Stout. Stout was 1 for 2 in the first game was hit by a pitch, walked, and had a base hit and a fly out. So officially 1 for 2 in the first game. He'll step in with 1 out and nobody on. There's a strike right through there. So Davenport throwing strikes to start things off right here. Comes the 0-1. Breaking ball out in front of that. So quickly 0-2 the count. And a swing of the miss of the high heater. So back-to-back strikeouts for Davenport. That's going to bring up Nelson. Nelson was 2 for 4 in the first game, had a home run and a base hit. 2-run home run was in the first inning. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on. That's up high for ball 1. 1-0 the count. That's up high. 2-0 the count. Swing and a miss. 2-1 the count. There's a strike called on the outside corner. So from 2-0 to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a swing and a miss. So Davenport strikes out the side to start things off. We go to the second inning, no score. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the top of the second inning. Both teams went 3 up, 3 down. Patterson, Santiago, and Dirks will go to the plate, scheduled to go to the plate for the Blue Devils. Patterson was 2 for 4 in the first game, had a couple of base hits, and both of them had RBI. That's in the dirt for ball 1, 1-0 the count. There's a strike, catches the outside corner, 1-1 the count. Little, Schlott, and M. Polubinski across the outfield. Stout, Shiga, Matsu, Fowler, and Nelson across the infield with Galuski behind the plate. And there's strike two. Called 1-2 the count. So ball over to Stout, and Stout up with it, and Nelson digs that ball out over there for the ground out. So a 5-3 ground out by Patterson. That's going to bring up Frankie Santiago. Santiago was 2 for 4 in the first game with a double and a 2-run home run. That first pitch to him is ball 1, 1-0 the count. 1-0 the count on the first baseman, Frankie Santiago. Foul ball back into the net. One ball, one strike, one out to Santiago. That ball breaks a little bit low. 2-1 the count. So foul ball back and out of play. 2-2 the count now. Blue Devils won the first game 8-7 in 7. Top of the second inning here. 9 innings scheduled game per league rules for the second game. That's outside. So 3-2 the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. No score here in the top of the second game of the day. There's ball 4 to Santiago, so a 1-out walk. And that's going to bring up Marcus Dirks. Dirks, the right fielder. He was 1 for 4 in the first game at a 3 ground outs. And he had a base hit and a stolen base. Actually, he was caught stealing, not a stolen base. There's a strike right through there, right down the middle at the belt. 0-1 the count. On the right fielder, Marcus Dirks. He's up there with 1 out and a runner at first. In the dirt, and that's blocked, but gets away just far enough for the runner to go to second. So another ball in the dirt and off of the umpire, so he's taken 2 already. There's a bunt, and that's going to be foul. Here's game 1, so that has to be game 2. Yep. But when they go back out, we'll check them out. Just chewing and spitting up here over where the positions are. Don't mind us. There's a strike 3 called. So a ground out, a base on balls, and a punch out on strikes, and that's going to bring up Freddie Nolan the 4th. Nolan, the fourth, was 0 for 4 in the first game. A couple of pop-outs, a ground out, and a strikeout. There's 1-0 the count. Runner at second base, 2 outs. There's a strike, 1-1 the count. Santiago moved to second base on the wild pitch. Got away from the catcher Galuski just a bit, and enough for Santiago to move down. There's a strike called. That's the bottom of the strike zone right there. So 1-2 the count. We'll see if it stays there with this official as we go, this umpire. 1-2 the count. Early going. There's a ground ball that's going to be taken by... That's going to be an infield hit right there, I believe. Yep, they put it up as a hit. Shigematsu went way over in the hole to get that, and the base hit by Nolan, the fourth. So runners now at first and third with Martin at the plate. Martin was 0 for 2. Strikeout, a ground out, 0 for 3. Fouled that one away. So he was hit by a pitch and had a couple of strikeouts and a ground out to third base, so he's looking to get something on the outfield grass here to get the Blue Devils jump started here in the top of the second inning. There's a high chopper that's going to be deep. The third baseman is going to come off and take that. And Stout over to Nelson for the 5-3 ground out. So he hits that hard, but it's handled on a one hopper by Stout. So we go to the bottom half of the second inning. No score. All right, here we go to the bottom of the second inning. Galuski, Little, and Josh Polubinski scheduled up. Josh Polubinski's the designated hitter. Mike Polubinski is the right fielder. So Galuski steps in. Not sure where that missed, but ruled a ball. Must have been up or out. Not sure, but ruled a ball. Galuski was 0 for 2 in the first game with a walk and a sac bunt. And 1-1 now with a count on him. There's a strike on the inside corner at the lower part of the kneecap. So 1-2 the count. Davenport struck out the side in the first inning. That's high and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thanks for joining me again or thanks for joining me if this is the first game that you've been to today. 2-2 the count, no score. There's a ball headed to left field, and that ball is in front of Freddie Nolan, the fourth. So a base hit for Galuski. That's going to bring up Joey Little, the left fielder. Little was 2 for 3 in the first game. He had a sac fly for an RBI, a 2-run home run, and a base hit and a stolen base. Nicely blocked by Patterson to keep that in front. 1-0 the count on Little. Little made out in the first inning, then in the third a base hit, a home run in the fifth, and a sac fly in the sixth. That sac fly got them to within one. There's a foul ball back to the screen, so 1-1 the count. Bottom of the second inning action. Blue Devils won the first game 8-7 in 7 innings. This game will be a 9-inning scheduled affair. There's a strike, lower part of the zone. 1-1 the count. 1-2 the count. There's a ball past the diving Mervosh. Runners, that's going to be a double, and going to hold him at third. So Little with the double into the left field corner. So back-to-back base hits, and there's runners at second and third with nobody out. That's going to bring up Josh Polubinski. Josh was 1 for 3 with a base hit, a couple of strikeouts, and a base on balls in the first game. There's a swing and a miss for a strike. So 0-1 the count on Josh Polubinski. Swing and a miss, so quickly 0-2 the count on Polubinski. Runners at second and third, nobody out. And a swing and a miss for the strikeout. So Davenport has faced 6 hitters, and 4 of them have struck out, and 2 of them have base hits. So that's going to bring up the center fielder, Aiden Slott. Slott was 1 for 4 in the first game, a fielder's choice, a couple of ground outs, and a base hit to left field. That's up high, 1-0 the count on the center fielder, Aiden Slott. Breaking ball, fouls it away. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Aiden Slott, the center fielder at the plate. Foul ball back to the screen, so 1-2 the count. That's up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a high fly ball to deep left field and back to the fence, and that's going to be out of here. So Aiden Slott with the 3-run home run. 3-run home run for Slott, and that makes it 3-0. The Blue Devils will have to come from behind again if they're going to win this one. So 3-0 after that. That's going to bring up Maka Shigematsu. Shigematsu was 0 for 2 in the first game, reached on an error, walked a couple of times and grounded out to Basler at second. That's a little bit low for ball one, 1-0 the count. So a 3-run home run here in the bottom of the second. There's a ground ball at Basler. He picks it up shallow in the outfield and over to Santiago for the 4-3 ground out. That's going to bring up Chandler Fowler. Fowler plays second base here in this game. Fowler starts the day batting .364. This will be his first at-bat of the day. There's a breaking ball, makes it back to the zone for a strike called. So a couple of base hits, a strikeout, and a home run, a ground out. And the Blue Devils trail by 3 with 2 outs. There's another breaking ball. That's hit into shallow left field. And Nolan the fourth decides to not go for that one, and the base hit lands in front of him by Fowler. So back to the top of the order. That's going to bring up Mike Polubinski. He struck out his first time up. He's from Plainfield, Illinois. There's a strike called. So 2 outs, a runner at first base. There's a foul ball down the right field line and out of play. So quickly going to the count on Mike Polubinski, the right fielder. Foul ball, that's going to get out of play. Owing to the count. That's outside. 1-2 the count now. Mason Davenport on the mound. Check swing rule to the ball. Davenport is from Tonganoxie, Kansas. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Just a little bit low on the inside. Nolan the fourth, Kern and Dirks across the outfield, left to right. Mervosh, Goldbeck, Basler, Santiago across the infield with Patterson behind the plate. And there's a foul ball back into the net. Will be the 3-2 again. There's a fly ball into left field. Nolan the fourth takes care of that. So the Greyhounds get 3 runs on 5 hits. 4 hits. 3 runs on 4 hits. We go to the top of the third. Blue Devils trailing 3-0. Top of the third we go. Kern, Basler, and Mervosh scheduled up. There is a strike on the outside of the outside corner. 0-1 the count. That's in the dirt. 1-1 the count. Kern was 1 for 3 in the first game, had a walk and a hit. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, 2-1 the count. That's low and inside. Crittenden on the mound for the Greyhounds. Swing and a miss for strike 2. It's a high fly ball, and that's going to be out of play. There's ball 4. So back to the top of the order in Basler. Basler's from Lansing, Kansas. He'll step in with a runner at first base, saying nobody out. He flew out to right field his first time up. That's high and outside for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Top of the third inning, second game of the day. First of 2 games here on Wednesday and then Saturday, provided weather doesn't change those. The final 2 games of this 4-game series. There's a strike on the outside corner. 1-1 the count. Peyton Basler, the second baseman at the plate. Little toss over to first. Crittenden over to Nelson. Nothing going on over there. So ground ball just foul of first base. Dive by Nelson over there. One ball, two strikes. That stays up high. 2-2 the count. Kern with the leadoff walk here in the top of the third. 2-2 the count on Basler. Strike three called on the outside corner. That'll bring up Mervosh. Mervosh is from Lenexa, Kansas. He flew out on a nice sliding play by M. Polubinski down there along the line. His first time out. That's down low for ball one. 1-0 the count. Swing and a strike and a stolen base by Kern. So runner in scoring position. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. That's outside. 2-1 the count. My hat goes off to Patterson and Galuski both. Sunshiny hot day, and they are both catching both games anyway so far. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Crittenden. Just gets a piece of that to stay alive, does Mervosh. Two balls, 2 strikes. Fouled it back to the screen. We'll do the 2-2 again. A high fly ball into center field. Slot is going to take that, and the runner stays at second. That's going to bring up Goldbeck. Goldbeck is from Kansas City, Kansas. He'll step in with 2 outs now and a runner at second base. See if he can get something on the outfield grass to get us off this goose egg. That drops down low and in the dirt for a ball. Nice block by Galuski. That's in the dirt, backhanded. 2-0 the count now. Scoreboard still has 1-0. We'll see. There's a strike on the outside corner. Two balls and 1 strike per the umpire behind the plate. Should be 3-1 on the scoreboard now, I believe. There's a strike on the outside corner. Three and two the count. Scoreboard has 2-2. Comes the pitch to Goldbeck from Crittenden. And that's ball 4. So that'll bring up Patterson. Patterson will step in with runners at first and second, 2 outs. Patterson is from Auburn, Kansas. He grounded out to Stout at third base his first time up in this game. Swinging a foul into the glove of Galuski. So 0-1 the count on Patterson. Breaking ball right back through there so quickly. 0-2 the count on Patterson. Foul ball back into the net. We'll do the 0-2 again. That's outside. 1-2 the count. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Blue Devils trail 3-0 here in the top of the third. There's a foul ball just wide of third base. Was looking at extra bases right there. Just a little bit out in front of it. Do the 1-2 again. Fouled it back and out of play. One and two. The high fly ball into center field. That's going to be shallow center field. And coming in to take care of that is Slot. So the Blue Devils get a couple of base runners on. But they strand them. We go to the bottom of the third. Blue Devils trailing 3-0. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom of the third inning. Good catch by my mother, who saw that I had the 3 runs on the wrong for the wrong team. So I think I've got that rectified. She let Sis know. Sis sends it to me. So now it's been fixed. So, Mr. Woida, my family beat you with that one, unless you sent it to me and I didn't see it. So, nonetheless, the Blue Devils are behind 3-0 instead of the 3-0 that had showed we were ahead for the first couple of innings. I put them in the wrong place. Stout, Nelson, and Galuski says scheduled up. It's a foul ball out of play. Stout is from Midwest City, Oklahoma. He struck out his first time up. That's outside. 2-1 the count. Foul ball back and into the net. Count evens out at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out as Luke Stout leads off the bottom of the third, and there's a swing and a miss for the strikeout. That's going to bring up Jarrett Nelson. He struck out his first time up. Nelson is from Nixa, Missouri, just down south of Springfield. He'll step in with 1 out, nobody on. Swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. Jarrett Nelson, the first baseman of the Greyhounds. There's a breaking ball right back to the inside corner for strike 2, so quickly 0-2 the count. Mason Davenport, third inning of work, 1 out. Out in front of that, fouls it over into the fence. So we'll do the 0-2 again. Nelson earns another pitch from Davenport. Stays up high. One ball, 2 strikes to count on the first baseman. Whew. Breaking ball. Based on other pitches we've seen, not sure where that missed, but ruled a ball. So 2-2 the count. There's a foul ball that's going to head out to the parking lot. So we'll do the 2-2 again. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. That's up high. So from 0-2 to 3-2. So about to have the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Strike 3 is called. That's the second out of the inning, so a strikeout and a punch out. And there's 2 down here in the bottom of the third. That's going to bring up Galuski. Galuski, the catcher, he had a base hit his last time up. Galuski is from Morgantown, West Virginia. I think I missed that in the first game. There's a breaking ball. He swings through it. 0-1 the count. 0-1 the count on Galuski. That falls a little bit low. 1-1 the count. Swing and a miss. Heater right at the belt, swung through by Galuski. Ty Galuski, the catcher. 1-2 the count on him. Strike 3 called. So the first inning, Davenport strikes out the side. Then he gives up a couple of base hits and a home run for 3 runs in the second. Then he strikes out the side in the third. So we go to the top of the 4th inning. Blue Devils trailing 3-0. I'll be back. All right, to the top of the 4th we go. Isaac Crittenden back for another inning of work. Top of the 4th. Frankie Santiago leads things off. Santiago takes a strike. He walked his first time up. He is from Calle, Puerto Rico. There's strike 2 called. So quickly 0-2 the count on Santiago. The ball headed into left field. Going back to take care of that is Little. So he hit it fairly deep, but Little runs it down for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Marcus Dirks. Dirks is from Kansas City, Kansas. He was called out on strikes his first time up. There's a breaking ball, catches the outside corner at the knees. 0-1 the count. Swing and a miss. Another pitch on the outside corner that he swung through. So quickly 0-2 the count on the right fielder, Marcus Dirks. It's a high chopper to Shigematsu, and Shigematsu throws high, so that's going to be an error on Shigematsu. So a runner at first base now with 1 out. That's going to bring up Nolan the fourth. He had a base hit, but in the hole between short and third his last time out. Nolan the fourth is from Fort Worth, Texas. There's a toss over to first. Back in safe is Marcus Dirks. I would contend that Marcus's stance is way too wide here. He has nowhere to go on his first step, my opinion, but nonetheless, there's a strike that swings through that, does Nolan the fourth. Owen won the count. Dirks reaches on an error. And that's low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Swing and a miss of that ball out in the dirt. Nicely blocked by Galuski. Keep the runner at first, he does. There's a ball headed deep to left field. Did he get enough of it? I believe he did. So Nolan, the fourth, hits that one out down to left field to cut the lead to 1. The home run by Freddie Nolan, the fourth. That'll make it 3-2. That's going to bring up Levi Martin. Levi grounded out to the third baseman his last time out. Martin is from Olathe, Kansas. 1-0 the count on him. There's 2-0 the count. So the Blue Devils get 2/3 of the lead back. That's down low. So 3-0 the count. Martin, the designated hitter. There's a strike called. 3-1 the count. That's the 3-0 expanded strike zone that's really, really, really expanded. And there's the ball fouled into the catcher's glove, Galuski. So from 3-0 to 3-2. Fouled that one away to stay alive. Does Levi Martin, the designated hitter. 3-2 now the lead here in the top of the fourth. 1 out. And a swing and a miss. That'll bring up Brady Kern. Kern will step in with 2 outs and nobody on. Kern is from Lawrence, Kansas. He reached on a base on balls and had a stolen base in the third. Want to know the count on him. That's down low. 2-0 the count. Brady Kern, the center fielder for the Blue Devils. Squares to bunt. The bunt is down. And the throw down to first. For the final out of the inning, the catcher, Galuski, down to Nelson. So 2 runs on 1 hit. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. The Blue Devils trail the Greyhounds 3-2. All right, to the bottom of the 4th inning we go. Blue Devils trail the Greyhounds 3-2. Mason Davenport back for another inning of work. Little Polubinski, Josh, and Aiden Schlott scheduled up for the Greyhounds. Little had a double his last time up. Little is from Hawthorne Woods, Illinois. Takes 1-0. There's ball 2 in the dirt, 2-0 the count. Bottom of the 4th inning action. 9 innings scheduled game. Little had a double his last time up. 3-0 the count on him. There's ball 4. The bottom side of the strike zone seems to be a coin flip. So Josh Polubinski comes up. He struck out his first time up. He's from Plainfield, Illinois. Fouled that back to the screen. He struck out his last time up. He's the designated hitter for the Greyhounds. Runner at first base, nobody out. That misses inside. 1-1 the count. Comes the 1-1. It's a ground ball headed at Golbeck. He's up with it over to Basler. Basler over to Santiago for the 6-4-3 double play to erase that base on balls. Pitcher's best friend right there. That's going to bring up Aiden Schlott. Schlott is from Willis, Texas. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on. He had a 3-run home run his last time up. There's a strike called. Owen won the count. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Mason Davenport on the mound. Aiden Schlott, the center fielder, at the plate. Pretty good pitch right there compared to what we've been seeing, but ruled a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's a foul ball that's headed over to the workout area, the workout buildings. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Blue Devils 2 runs on 2 hits. A lot of 2s up on the board. That's up high. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Foul ball back and out of play. We'll do the 3-2 again. And there's ball 4. So a base on balls, a 6-4-3 double play, and a base on balls. That's going to bring up Maka Shigematsu. He grounded out to Basler at second base his last time up. He is from Eli, Hawaii, I believe is how they pronounced it. At the beginning of the game, there's a bunt and a 1-hopper, not in time, so safe with the stolen base is Slot. So a runner now in scoring position. Shigematsu 1-0, the count on him. There's a high fly ball to deep right, and if it stays fair, and that is a home run by Shigematsu. So the 2-run. So in the second and the fourth, a runner gets on, steals a base, or is at second base, and then scores on the home run. So that will bring up Chandler Fowler. Fowler will come up with 2 outs. That makes it 5-2. First pitch is a strike to Fowler. Fowler is from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Fouls that one back away and out of play, so quickly 0-2 the count. So the Blue Devils find themselves right back to a 3-run deficit. They scored 2 in the top of the inning, and then they've given up 2 here. That's outside, so 1-2 the count. Fowler, the second baseman, he had a base hit his first time up. There's a line drive right at Basler. So he hits it hard, but right at Basler. So the Greyhounds get 2 runs on 1 hit. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Blue Devils trailing 5-2. All right, so the pitching change has been made by the Greyhounds. Number 1, Zach Nelson from Houston, Texas will come in. Zach will take the mound. And trying to find him here. Find out his numbers. He has an 8.82 ERA and an 0-1 record. He'll come in to face the Blue Devils here in the top of the 5th inning. Blue Devils trail 5-2. There's a foul ball back and out of play on the first pitch from him. Basler now moves over to the right-handed side of the plate facing the left-handed hitter. Basler is 0 for 2 in this one with a fly out and a punch out. 0-1 the count on him here. There's a breaking ball, stays outside. 1-1 the count. Top of the 5th inning action. Blue Devils trail 5-2. That's up high. Two and one the count now. It's a high pop-up. Going to see if that gets out of play. Coming over to take a look at Nelson. And Nelson reaches over the fence, and his fellow Greyhounds stay out of the way and allow him to make the play. So Basler out in foul territory to Nelson at first base. That's going to bring up Mervosh. Mervosh has flied out twice in this one, once to right field and once to center field. That's 1-0 outside. That's outside. 2-0 the count. That's up high. 3-0 the count. And there's ball 4. That'll bring up Goldbeck. He'll be up there with 1 out and 1 on. Goldbeck is called out on strikes in the first. Reached on a base on balls in the second. That's up high. 1-0 the count. Pitch in the dirt, blocked nicely by Galuski. Little Slot and Polubinski across the outfield. Stout, Shigematsu, Fowler, and Nelson across the infield with Galuski behind the plate and Zach Nelson on in relief of Isaac Crittenden. That's up high for 3-0 the count. Going to get a timeout by Galuski. He wants to go out and visit with Nelson. 3-0 the count here. Blue Devils with 2 in the 4th on 2 hits. The Greyhounds with 3 in the 2nd and 2 in the 4th on 5 hits. They've committed an error. Tally right here in the top of the 5th, 5-2 lead for the Greyhounds. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. Three and one the count. Runner at first base. That's Mervosh. There's ball 4. So a foul out by Basler and then a couple of walks. That's going to bring up Patterson. One out, Patterson at the plate. He's grounded out and been out on a fly ball to center field. Gets out in front of that one and fouls it over by our Blue Devils dugout. 0-1 the count. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Comes the 1-1. Out in front of that, fouls it away. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 on. Mervosh at second, Goldbeck at first. Patterson at the plate. There's a foul ball. We'll do the 1-2 again. Patterson earns another pitch. From the reliever, Zach Nelson. Crittenden went 4 innings. Foul ball, that's going to be out of play. We'll do the 1-2 again. 1-2 the count, but 3 foul balls since there has been 2 strikes on him. Whistled that one past Coach Goldbeck. One ball, 2 strikes. Eighth pitch of the at-bat. And a swing and a miss. So 2 outs now to Santiago. Santiago has reached on a base on balls and flew out to Little in left field. Santiago will move over to the right-handed side now to face the lefty, Nelson. There's a strike called. Haven't had a strike called that high all day by either of these two. But there's a first time for everything. I missed a call or 2 when I umpired. 0-1 the count. That's in the dirt. Blocked by Galuski and keeps the runners from moving. One and one the count. First baseman Frankie Santiago at the plate. It's a foul ball, and it's going to just barely get out of play. Coming down to take a look was Nelson, and over to take a look Galuski, but both of them run out of room. One and two the count now on Santiago. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. So the Blue Devils, no runs on, no hits. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. We've made it halfway through this one. Blue Devils trail the Greyhounds 5-2. All right, here we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Greyhounds leading the Blue Devils 5-2. Davenport back for another inning of work. There's a fly ball into center field. Coming on hard is Kern, and Kern says, I'll take that. And he does. That was Mike Polubinski there with that fly out. So that'll bring up Luke Stout. That'll bring up Stout, who has struck out twice in this one. He'll step in with nobody on him, one out. There's a breaking ball right through there for strike one. 0-1 the count. On the third baseman, Luke Stout. There's a strike on the outside corner at the knees. That'd be a good place to come back to, about an inch and a half wider than that one right there. 0-2 the count, maybe even the breaking ball out there. Up a little further than I would prefer right there, but still 0-2 as Stout fouled that one away. Just a little bit outside. If that ball is at the lower part of the zone, he gets called out on that strike right there, but ruled a ball. 1-2 the count. Stays outside. 2-2 the count. Blue Devils 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors. Greyhounds 5 runs on 5 hits with 1 error. Comes the 2-2. It's a ground ball. Basler backhands it. Exchange and over to Santiago for a nice 4-3 ground out behind second base. So a nice job there by Basler to get him. That'll bring up Jarrett Nelson. Nelson has struck out twice, once swinging, once looking. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on. Bottom half of the fifth inning action. A little over halfway through this one. It's a high fly ball. We'll see if that gets out of play. It looks like it will, and it does. So 0-1 the count. On the first baseman, Jarrett Nelson. Today's scheduled games were Thursday. Tomorrow moved up because of impending weather. We'll see what weather does, but right now the other 2 games are scheduled on Saturday currently. That's up high. 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs to Nelson. That misses a little bit low and outside. 2-1 the count. Swing and a miss of that heater. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There's a base hit into left field, so just gets past Golbeck on that one. So Nelson with the base hit. It's going to bring up Galuski. Galuski, the catcher. He's had a base hit and been called out on strikes in this one. Base hit in the second, called out on strikes in the third. He'll be up here with 2 outs and a runner on here in the bottom of the fifth. His Greyhounds are leading the Blue Devils 5-2. 9 inning scheduled game, second game of the doubleheader. There's a drive into right field. Breaking ball, and Galuski drove it straight to Dirks for the fly out. So no runs on one hit for the Greyhounds in the fifth. We go to the top of the sixth. The Blue Devils trailing the Greyhounds 5-2. I'll be back. All right, to the top of the sixth we go. Blue Devils trailing 5-2. Nelson back for another inning work. Zach Nelson, that is. Dirks Nolan the fourth, and Martin scheduled up. There's a strike to Dirks. Dirks has been called out on strikes and reached on an error by Shigematsu. Shigematsu hurried to throw a little and made it high. There's the bunt attempt, and strike two just missed. 0-2 on the right fielder, Marcus Dirks. Way outside. 1-2 the count. Breaking ball waits on it. Nelson is going to underhand it and says he's going to be out at first. Not agreeance from the KCK fans at all. It's a hopper and to Nelson. And so that would be Nelson to Nelson. Jarrett Nelson underhands to Zach Nelson for the 3-1 ground out. That'll bring up Nolan the fourth. He's had a base hit to left and a 2-run home run to left in this game. He'll step in with one out and nobody on. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. How different that play will look if Nolan the fourth would happen to hit another one out right here. There's a foul ball back into the net, so 0-2 quickly on Freddie Nolan the fourth, the left fielder. And strike three called. That's going to bring up Levi Martin. Martin is the designated hitter. He's grounded out to Stout at third and struck out. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on. Fouled that back to the screen. 0-1 the count. 2 outs. Fouled that back to the screen.
Hey, stay on him. Stand on it.
0-2 the count. That's down low. 1-2 the count. And that drops low and in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here on the designated hitter, Levi Martin. Foul ball back and headed out to the parking lot. Comes the 2-2. There's a ball headed to Shigematsu. He charges and over to Nelson, Jarrett Nelson, for the 6-3 ground out. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Nelson. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Blue Devils trailing 5-2. I'll be back. All right, Davenport back for another inning of work. Little, Polabensky, Josh, and Slot scheduled up. Little's had a double and a base on balls in this one. There's a check swing ruled a strike. 0-1 the count. On the left fielder, Joey Little. The foul ball, high chopper over by the dugout. So quickly 0-2 the count on Joey Little. Swing and a miss. Fouled it actually into the glove of Patterson for the strikeout. That's going to bring up Josh Polabensky. He is struck out and hit into a 6-4-3 double play. That misses outside. 1-0 the count. There's a ball headed into right field, and Dirks takes care of that with a few steps. So a line drive out by Josh Polabensky. And that's going to bring up Aiden Slot. Slot is the center fielder. He had a 3-run home run his First time up in the second inning, and in the fourth inning had a base on balls and a stolen base. Here's a strike, catches the inside corner. 0-1 the count. 5-2 lead for the Greyhounds. 9-inning scheduled game. We're in the bottom of the sixth. There's a ground ball at Basler. Two-hopper over to Santiago for the third out of the inning. So no runs on, no hits. And we go to the top of the seventh inning. Blue Devils trailing the Greyhounds 5-2. All right, to the top of the seventh we go. Blue Devils trailing by 3. First pitch to Kern is a strike called. Kern, Basler, and Merva scheduled up. Kern had a walk and a stolen base in the third. And that misses outside somehow. Not the way he's been calling today, but 1-1 that count. Catcher down to first on a bunt last time by Kern. And there's a strike, so 1-2 the count. Brady Kern, the center fielder for the Blue Devils. He leads off the top of the seventh for the Blue Devils. Fouls that back to the screen. So we'll do the 1-2 again. Nine-inning scheduled game. Blue Devils top of the seventh here. There's a swing and a miss. So back to the top of the order and Basler. Basler will be on the right-handed side to face the lefty, Zach Nelson. Zach Nelson on the mound, the lefty. Jarrett Nelson at first. Don't see where they are related. I didn't see that earlier. There's a strike on the outside corner. Basler 0 for 3 in this one. Couple of flyouts and a punch out. One of the flyouts, a nice play by Jarrett Nelson over to reach over the fence and get a foul pop foul. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. It's a fly ball headed into right field. It's headed deep. Sizing that thing up is Polovinsky, and he takes care of that for the out. That's Mike Polubinski out in right. Brother is designated hitter. 2 outs now, and that's going to bring up Mervosh. Mervosh has been out in the air twice to the outfield and reached on a base on balls. 1-0 the count to him. That's a strike called outside corner at the waist. 1-1 the count. Top of the 7th inning action. That's headed for the workout buildings. So 1-2 the count. Jackson Mervosh, the third baseman, at the plate. That's up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runs for the Blue Devils on 2 hits. A lot of 2s on the board. The ball headed into deep center field. Schlott headed over to right center to take care of that. So another 3 up, 3 down inning for Zach Nelson. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Blue Devils trail 5-2 to the Greyhounds of Fort Scott Community College. Pitching change being made by the Blue Devils as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Number 21, Will Bartkowski, comes to the mound. He has a 1.78 ERA, a 5-0 record on decisions for him this year. He'll toe the slab trailing by 3. 5-2 lead by the Greyhounds here in the bottom of the 7th. 9 innings scheduled game. Blue Devils won the first game in 7. The first game is a 7-inning game, and they won it 8-7 in 7. So Bartkowski comes to the mound. He will get Shigematsu, Fowler, and Mike Polubinski. Shigematsu has a home run and a ground out. His last at bat was a 2-run home run. Another one of those walks that were part of that 2-run home run. There's a strike right through there by Bartkowski. Nolan the fourth, Kernan Dirks across the outfield. Mervosh, Goldbeck, Basler, Santiago across the infield. Patterson still behind the plate with Bartkowski on in relief of Davenport, who went 6. That misses just a little bit outside. 1-1 the count. Bottom of the 7th inning action. There's a high chopper. Basler will charge it, make an exchange, and then a throw on the high chopper for the 4-3 ground out to second base. That's going to bring up Chandler Fowler, the second baseman. Fowler has a base hit and lined out to Basler on his 2 at-bats. He'll step in with 1 out and nobody on to face Will Bartkowski. Bartkowski's from Seneca, Kansas. There's a strike called. Owen won the count. So a foul ball back to the screen. On the count. I had 0-2. We'll see. Yes, 1-2 the count. Yes, meaning I thought that I remembered that right. Sometimes the old mind remembers those things, and sometimes it misses them. So 1-2 the count, and that's way outside. So 2-2 the count. Scoreboard is correct out. Open stance by Chandler Fowler. There's a high chopper, and Mervosh with the throw over. That's going to be an infield hit by Fowler on the high chopper. So that's going to bring up Mike Polubinski. He is 0 for 3 in this one. A strikeout and a couple of flyouts to left and center. He'll be up there with 1 out and a runner at first base. There's a strike called, squares to bunt and pulls it back. Does Mike Polubinski, the right fielder. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. It's a foul ball. Out in front of that. 1-2 the count now. It's outside. 2-2 the count now. There's a ball at Mervosh, and he's over to Basler, and the return throw over is not in time. So Polubinski Mike reaches on a fielder's choice, 5-4. That's the second out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Luke Stout. Stout has a couple of strikeouts and a ground out in this one. He'll step in to face Will Bartkowski. Bartkowski, I want to say. There is a pitch out and a ball way outside. 1-0 the count. Bart Koski's from Seneca, Kansas. He grabs it, can't go to second, goes to first and pulls Santiago off. So that's going to be an E1. 2 outs, runners at first and second. That's going to bring up Nelson. Nelson has been out on strikeouts and had a base hit in this one. That's outside, 1-0 the count. Want to keep him in the yard here. Way outside. So 2-0 the count. Jarrett Nelson, the first baseman. 2-0 the count on him. Foul ball back and headed for the parking lot. So 2-1 the count. Umpire asking for some fresh baseballs. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 on. Bottom of the 7th inning action. Blue Devils trailing by 3. Foul ball back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on now. There's a foul ball staying in there with a piece of that one is Jarrett Nelson. The stretch and the 2-2. Strike 3 called, catches the outside corner. So no runs on 1 hit. And we go to the top of the 8th inning. Blue Devils need some runs. They trail by 3. Pitching change made by the Greyhounds. Number 16, Easton Smith from Glen Heights, Texas, will come in. He's a righty. He'll be on the mound for the Greyhounds. Smith has a 3.60 ERA, has no record of decision yet this year. He will take over for Zach Nelson and Isaac Crittenden, be the third pitcher in this one. Goldbeck, Patterson, and Santiago scheduled up for the Blue Devils. The umpire had to go take a little break there. 5-2 the score. Now Goldbeck will come to the plate. He'll be the first to face Easton Smith. He's from Glen Heights, Texas. Goldbeck has been called out on strikes and then had a couple of walks. Top of the 8th inning action, scheduled 9-inning game. That's up high for ball one. Blue Devils trail by 3. They have 6 outs left to cut that deficit and get this thing tied back up. There's a strike right through there. 1 ball, 1 strike as Goldbeck leads off the top of the 8th. For the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Blue Devils. That's outside. 2-1 the count. Easton Smith, the third pitcher of this game for the Greyhounds. That's down low. 3-1 the count. Blue Devils 2 runs on 2 hits and an error. The Fort Scott Greyhounds 5 runs on 7 hits and also 1 error. There's a strike right through there. 3-2 the count. And in the dirt. That'll be a leadoff walk for Goldbeck. That'll bring up Brady Patterson. Patterson is grounded out. Been out on a fly to center field and a strikeout. So 0 for 3 in this game. He'd like to get off of that goose egg for hits and help his team out, see if he can get Goldbeck over to third. That's down low, nicely blocked by Galuski. Want to know the count. In tight on the plate is Patterson. There's a strike right through there. 1-1 the count. Way outside. 2-1 the count now. Safe over at first base. Comes the 2-1. There's a ball headed to deep left center. Is that going to be off the scoreboard? It is. That is just above the strike up by the Fort Scott emblem. And that makes it a 5-4 ball game by 1 swing of the bat by Patterson. So that makes it 5-4 now. So that'll bring up Santiago. With the right-handed pitcher coming in, Santiago will move over to the left-handed side to face Easton Smith. There's a high fly ball to right field. Is that going to be out? And that's back-to-back home runs by Patterson and Santiago to tie this thing up. The Blue Devils with back-to-back home runs to tie things up here in the 8th inning. So that'll bring up Dirks. So 3 runs in on a couple of home runs. Dirks squares to bunt and fouls it back. So 0-1 on Dirks. Let's see if he stays with the bunt or if he figures to swing. There's a strike inside at the knees. So quickly 0-2 the count on the right fielder, Marcus Dirks. So Goldbeck with the walk, Patterson with the home run, then Santiago with the home run. There's a ground ball headed at the shortstop, the second baseman, Fowler. And over to Jarrett Nelson for the 4-3 ground out. Be the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Freddie Nolan, the 4th, the left fielder. He's had a base hit, a 2-run home run, and was called out on strikes his last time up. So he'll step in with 1 out. And this thing's all tied up here in the top of the 8th. There's a ground ball headed into left field. So Nolan, the 4th, with the base hit into left. That'll bring up Levi Martin. Martin has grounded out a couple of times and struck out. Levi steps in with 1 out and 1 on. And that's going to get through the stance. The feet of the catcher. Galuski has been very good back there. And when he dropped down on that one, it just trickled back through him a bit. We're going to get a visit to the mound, try and calm things down a little bit. So there'll be a timeout. Blue Devils have 3 runs here to tie it up. 1 out, the runner at second base. I'll be back. All right, Coach Hill has imparted the words of wisdom that he would like to Easton Smith. Levi Martin steps back in at the plate. 1-0 the count on him. There's a high chopper at Shigematsu, and it's going to be a 6-3 ground out. So that's going to bring up Brady Kern. Kern has a base on balls with a stolen base. Out on a very, very close play on a bunt to the catcher down to first, and then a strikeout. And that's a hit by pitch. And that's back to the top of the order and Basler. So Basler will now step over to the left-handed side to face the right-handed Easton Smith. 2 outs. Peyton Basler at the plate. He's been out on 3 in the air, a couple to the outfield, 1 on a nice play in foul territory and called out on strikes. That's up high. So 0 for 4 is Basler, so he would like to get something on the outfield grass here and get Nolan the 4th home. 1-0 the count. That's up high again. 2-0 the count. Basler can look one pitch in one spot here. 2-0 the count. That's down low. It's a nice job there by Galuski trying to frame that up to make it look to be a strike, but still a little bit low. So 3-0 the count. There's a strike right through there. 3-1 the count. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners at first and second. And hit by a pitch is Basler. So that's going to load the bases for Mervosh. Mervosh has been out on a couple of 3 outfield flies. 2 of them, then a base on balls, then another fly out. So he's 0 for 3 with a walk. He'll step in with the bases full of Blue Devils and Mervosh at the plate. There's a strike right through there. 0-1 the count on the third baseman, Jackson Mervosh. Fouled that one down. So quickly 0-2 the count. Mervosh with only 2 home runs on the season, and there's the strikeout. So the Blue Devils bat around. They send 9 to the plate, and they get a 3-run. They get a home run by Santiago and a home run by Patterson for 3 points. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. This thing's tied up at 5. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. We're all tied up at 5. Galuski, Little, and Polabinski, Josh, scheduled up for the Greyhounds. There's a foul out of play by Galuski. 0-1 the count on him. He's had a base hit in the second, a punch out in the third, and a fly out in the 5th. Here we are in the 8th, 0-1 to the catcher. There's a ball headed into left field, and that ball is going to get past Nolan, the 4th, and into second base is Galuski. That's going to bring up Little. Little had a double in the second, a base on balls in the first, and a strikeout in the 6th. He'll step in with a runner at second base. And nobody out. In tight on the grass is Santiago. That misses low and outside. That's been a strike most of the day. But ruled a ball here. 1-0 the count. The left fielder, Joey Little, at the plate. There's a strike right through there. 1-1 the count now. On number 111, Joey Little. That's up high. 2-1 the count. We're all tied up at 5 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Devils won the first game 8-7 in the 7-inning affair. Here's the 9-inning affair. That misses outside, 3-1. Bartkowski on in relief of Davenport. There's a ball hit into right field and just about misplayed by Dirks. That's got a ball that is slicing to get away from you, and he squeezes it up and makes the play. So that's going to bring up Josh Polabinski, the designated hitter. He's been out on a strikeout in the second, a 6-4-3 double play in the 4th, and a line drive also to right field in the 6th. He'll be up there with 1 out and a runner at second base. There's a ball headed into right field. Dirks is going to be up with that. Coach Hill throws up the stop sign, and there'll be runners at first and third with 1 out. And that's going to bring up Aiden Slott. Slott will step in with 1 out and runners at the corners. He had a home run in the second, a base on balls in the 4th, and a ground out to Basler at second base in the 6th. There's a swing and a miss of that fastball inside half of the plate. Blue Devils looking for a double play up the middle. At the corners, possibly come home way outside. 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-0 the count's what they show. Thought the first pitch was a called strike. And there's a hit by pitch. So that'll load the bases. Now definitely needing a ground ball. That brings up Maka Shigematsu. He will step in with 1 out, bases full of Greyhounds. We're going to get a visit to the mound when we come back. 1 out, bases loaded. Bottom of the 8th inning action, tie game. I'll be back. Pitching change being made by the Blue Devils. Caleb Reed, number 24, will come in. He's from Olathe, Kansas. He has a 4.42 ERA and a 2-0 record on the season. He inherits the bases loaded and 1 out here to face the Greyhounds. Shigematsu, the shortstop, will come up. He's grounded out in the second, had a 2-run home run in the fourth, and then grounded out to Basler at second again. In the seventh, he'll step in to face Caleb Reed. Bases loaded, 1 out. Here we go. All tied up at 5, bottom of the 8th inning. There's a high chopper and gonna get the out at first base, and the run will score. So that will put the Greyhounds up 6-5. That'll bring up Fowler. Fowler will step in now with 2 outs and runners at second and third. There's a breaking ball called a strike. Fowler's had a base hit, a line out, and a base hit on a high chopper on the infield. Breaking ball stays up high. 1-1 the count. The high chopper on the infield was Mervosh. Made the throw longer. He was safe and beat it out. That's down low and outside. 2-1 the count. Stays up high. 3-1 the count. Mike Polubinski, the leadoff hitter, is in the on-deck circle with first base open in case they choose to pitch very wisely around Fowler. There's a foul ball back into the screen, so 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs to Chandler Fowler, the second baseman. Greyhounds take a 6-5 lead on the bases loaded ground out to first base and in the dirt. So that'll load the bases up and put the force out in order. Back to the top of the order with Mike Polubinski. He is 0 for 4 with a strikeout, a couple of pop-outs, and a fielder's choice where he reached. That fielder's choice was to Mervosh at third. There's a strike called. Whether he went or whether he didn't, it was a strike called. So 0-1 the count on Mike Polubinski. Just misses a little bit outside. Pretty good pitch right there. What we've been seeing called a strike, nonetheless ruled a ball. There's a foul ball down by Coach Hill at third base. So 1-2 the count. Bases loaded. 1-2 in the count on Mike Polubinski, the right fielder. The original leadoff hitter in this second game. 6-5 lead now. Bottom of the 8th inning action. And a swing and a miss. So the Greyhounds take a 1-run lead by getting 1 run on 1 hit. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Blue Devils need to get 1 to keep this thing going. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the top of the ninth inning. Easton Smith back for another inning of work. Goldbeck, Patterson, and Santiago scheduled up. The Blue Devils need a run to keep this thing going. The Greyhounds need 3 outs before they get that 1 run. So a tight one we've got right here. 6-5 lead. Top of the ninth inning action. Goldbeck has been called out on strikes and then walked 3 times. He'll face Smith. That's up high for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Comes the 1-0 to Goldbeck. There's a strike right through there. 1-1 the count. Six-5 lead. Top of the ninth inning action. Greyhounds lead by 1. That's down low. 2-1 the count. Blue Devils with 2 in the fourth and 3 in the eighth for 5. The Greyhounds with 3 in the second, 2 in the fourth, and 1 in the eighth to take the lead. There's a swing and a miss of that pitch, so 2-2 the count. On the shortstop, Gary Goldbeck. Pitch from Easton Smith. Foul ball back and out of play. We'll do the 2-2 again. Goldbeck earned another pitch with that foul ball. It's a foul ball down the left field line. Going over to take a look is Stout. And Stout makes the play. That's going to bring up Patterson. Patterson is 1 for 4. Ground out, a strikeout, a fly out, and a 2-run home run in the eighth to get started when we tied it back up. So he'll step in with 1 out and nobody on. And he's hit by a pitch. So that'll bring up Frankie Santiago. Santiago has reached on a base on balls, been out on a fly, called out on strikes, and he hit back-to-back home runs with Patterson to tie things up. He'll step in with a runner at first base and 1 out. There's a strike outside corner with that pitch. Santiago down in the count 0-1. Patterson at first after being hit by a pitch. There's a throw over to Patterson with the pickoff attempt, and Jarrett Nelson with the tag, but safe. Little slot and Mike Polubensky across the outfield. Stout, Shigematsu, Fowler, and Nelson across the infield. Galuski behind the plate. That's in the dirt and nicely blocked by Galuski. Jarrett Nelson at first. Zach Nelson was the pitcher prior to Easton Smith. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Blue Devils trail by 1. That's outside. Check swing ruled a ball. 2-1 the count. Top of the ninth inning action. Blue Devils need a run to tie it up. 2 to take the lead. That's inside. 3-1 the count. So Santiago can look one pitch, one spot here with a 3-1 count. Fouled that one away. That may get a vehicle, and did, right on top of the end vehicle. If there's a moonroof in that one, it now has a crashed moonroof. 3-2 the count. 1 out. There's another foul ball backing out of play. That one's headed toward mine, but hits the ground before it gets over there. So we'll do 3-2 again. 8th pitch of the at-bat awaiting here. Comes the 3-2. And a swing and a miss. So Santiago down on strikes. Blue Devils are down to their last out. It's going to bring up Marcus Dirks. Dirks will step in. He's been called out on strikes, reached an on an air, and then grounded out twice since then. So 0 for 4 in this one. That's low and inside. Want to know the count? 2 outs. There's a strike right through there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Marcus Dirks, the right fielder, up there. That's in the dirt, nicely blocked by Galuski. 2-1 the count. 2 balls, 1 strike, runner at first base. 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. There's a ball lighted up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit. All right, so runners at first and second, 2 outs. That's going to bring up Freddie Nolan, the 4th. He is 3 for 4 with a couple of base hits and a 2-run home run in this one. 2 outs, 2 on. Nolan, the 4th, at the plate. There's a strike right through there. 0-1 the count. Patterson at second. Dirks at first. Nolan, the 4th. There's a high fly ball on the right side. Jarrett's going out. The right fielder comes in. And Mike Polubinski comes in and takes care of the fly ball. So the Blue Devils lose this one 6-5. And they win the first one 8-7. So the split today, the game on Saturday, will be the final 2 games of this 4-game series, provided weather doesn't change that. So thanks for watching today. Anyone that would like to make a donation, you go to forties.com. There's 2 or 3 different ways to make a donation. Any donation goes to the broadcast of the KCK baseball games and the teams that they play. So thank you for being with us. The Blue Devils win the first one 8-7, and they lose this one 6-5. We'll see you on Saturday. Be safe. We'll see you then. Good night.